Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
There's a new brewery in Charlotte that specializes in German-style beer. It's crisp, fresh, and lacks any preservatives. And it must be pretty popular because it's already in over 120 bars and restaurants in the area. John Bolenbacher visits the Old Mecklenberg Brewery.
All across North Carolina, if you want a beer, you can walk into any gas station, grocery store, corner store, and there they are. Easy to find, right? Especially if you want something like Coors, Miller, or Bud. But we're going to show you why it's important to go as local as possible for your beer. And if you're anywhere near Charlotte, why it's important to come here for this beer at the Old Mecklenberg Brewery. Let's go. Welcome to the Old Mecklenberg Brewery, Charlotte's newest and only brewery.
I opened up about a year ago, and I just found out about 6 months ago. Tried the beer, and it's delicious, so I've been a fan ever since. I came in to fill up my growler here at Old Mecklenberg. Got to get a beer while I'm changing out my growler.
The tasting room is a great place to refresh your growler and refresh yourself with a pint, and it's also the starting point for the brewery tour.
These two tanks here on the right side, we're going to use for that entire process. What we're doing is one of these tanks is going to be boiling and one is not. These tanks on this side are what we call our primary fermentation tanks.
And on the tour, you'll learn what separates OMB beer from other microbrews is that it is a German-style beer.
They have an old purity law that goes back to 1516. And the idea is that beer should never be made with anything but the very core ingredients of beer. Your malts, your hops, your water, your yeast, and that's it. You don't add fruit to your beer, you don't add flavoring to your beer, and you certainly don't add preservatives to your beer, you don't pasteurize your beer. It's just a fresh made product. Over here, you have more breweries that are looking to send beer nationwide, and when you do that, you're forced to compromise a little bit and add preservatives, pasteurize your beer, and all those processes strip the beer some of the flavor. Folks ask us all the time when they come in, what am I tasting here that you add to it that makes that different taste? And what I have to tell them is you're actually tasting beer instead of tasting the process.
And that German style of beer that is highlighted by rich flavors without some of the bitterness you might find in other microbrews is gaining many converts in Charlotte.
I like the copper, the darker one, a little bit better. It was very good. In fact, we bought my niece a growler and a set of glasses so she can invite her girlfriends over and have a party.
I'm sure her parents are going to love that.
It's my kid's sister. She'll live with it.
I love the beer. They just got rid of Fraubach. Have you tried that before? It's fantastic, but they just ran out of it. So, and then they're gonna have their summer ale, I think, in like 2 weeks. It's quality beers.
I'm not a big German fan, but I can appreciate the styles, and I really like their alt beer, the copper. It was really good.
But don't just take these folks' word for it. How about an endorsement from the over 120 bars and restaurants that have picked up O&B in the single year since it's been open? Great tasting beer is always worth seeking out, but there's another big reason to support Old Mecklenberg, especially if you live in the Charlotte area.
Because we've not had a brewery here in a really long time. We don't have a lot of things that aren't chain or owned by major corporations. So it's nice to say this is a North Carolina brand. I'm a Southern girl, I take pride in it, so.
I like that it's not the same old commercial thing. It's handcrafted beers. I like to support the little guys.
Being a Charlotte native, I just love supporting local business and think it's great, especially when the product is outstanding.
I think people like the feeling of drinking something that's made by folks who live in their community, who work in their community, and keeping their dollars in their community. It's very uncommon to have a beer that just belongs to a city anymore. And having that pride in something that was made in your town, I think, is pretty powerful.
You can preach buying local, supporting small businesses, and the significance of having a local brewery all day. But having fresh, tasty beer in your backyard might be the only reason you need to stop in and support Old Mecklenberg Brewery.
You know, it's not big culturally down here in the South. We never really had one before, so I don't think it's huge importance culturally. I love having it though.
The Old Mecklenberg Brewery is on Southside Drive in Charlotte, and they're open Wednesday through Saturday. To find out more about their beer, where you can find it on tap, or how to visit the tap room, give them a call at 704-525-5644 or go online to oldmeckbrew.com.
Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.